Hello? Can you see me, hear me better? Hi, Pawpaw. Happy Thursday. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm trying to make sure I have the best connection for the show. Let's see if a couple more people looking in. Happy Thursday. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started again. Hi guys, I am your host, Joe, here with Real Talk with Joe. And I have a very wonderful guest here who I am super excited to talk about her journey and what she does in the world. She's definitely a bright light. But before I introduce her, hello again, I have to say thank you, K-Mo, for being on the show last week again. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for sharing that video and all of your beautiful responses to that vlog. Thank you so much for your support, your love. I love you all. And so yeah, if you don't know, this platform is based off of Matthew 5:14 through 16, which says, "You are the light of the world. A city that cannot be hidden, nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven." So that is what this show is all about. And I'm super excited to welcome Miss Christine. I'm going to add her on now. Yes, precious.
Okay.
Hey, can you hear me, see me better?
I can hear you and I can see you better.
Perfect. Okay, we made it. All right, so if you're ready, I'm ready.
All right. Hey guys, how are you guys doing? Thank you for having me on.
Of course. So first question, tell us your name and where you're from and what you do.
Okay. So my name is Christine Benta. I am a island girl from the Caribbean. I'm born in Antigua, raised in Anguilla, but I've also raised in Atlanta. Actually, Metro Atlanta, to be more specific. So I've been in Georgia for more than half of my life. I think I've been here since 12. All right. So officially a Georgia girl, I guess you'll say.
Yes.
Um, so grew up in Georgia, grew up in the Caribbean.
Uh-oh. Miss Christine, you still there? Can you guys see her? Okay, can you see me? Can you hear me? See me? Can you hear me? I think we lost her. Hey, I miss you too. Can you hear me? Okay. So it wasn't mine then. It must have been Miss Christine's. Let me see. Yeah, I think I totally lost her, guys. Um, let me see. Let me try to connect with her again. Let's see.
Okay,
Okay, we back.
I'm back. I have no clue. While I was talking, it just started playing what I was saying earlier.
Oh my gosh, are you on good connection? Do you have a good Wi-Fi connection?
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty good.
Okay.
I didn't
All right. So
even-
you gotta start over. You gotta
So
tell
we
us.
got to start over. So for those of you who are freshly on, my name is Christine Benta. I am a Georgia girl, but I'm also a Caribbean girl. So I'm coming out of the Caribbean, been raised there, and then a good chunk of my life been raised in Atlanta. And so I have several titles under my umbrella, if that makes sense. But really, it's being creative, but I create with the mediums of food and art. So I am an art teacher, a cooking instructor, a chef, and a holistic coach. So that all ties in with food and art.
I mean,
Just
what
to
an
make it out.
amazing lady! What an amazing person! Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing. So, how was cooking and canvas creation started, and what was the inspiration?
All right. So looking back at it, I actually had the idea in high school. So that was more than a decade ago. I had a senior project and we had to find an issue and then come up with a solution. My issue was obesity in kids, obesity in children.
Okay.
And my solution was coming up with a program that would be fun and teach people about food, but do well to be well-rounded. So not just physically food, but also the spiritual and mental aspect. Didn't have terms back then as a teenager, but I was reflecting a couple of days ago and I was like, oh snap, I actually like had this idea. This idea is like dropped when I was in high school.
Wow.
So I've always been cooking. I've been cooking since I was 6. So the idea came about, I believe, in 2018. I was already teaching cooking classes under the health coach umbrella, teaching people how to cook. And then during the pandemic, several of my clients knew that I did art, and they was like, hey, would you be interested in just teaching their kids art? So I actually combined art classes and cooking classes, and it went from there. And I saw it was very effective in helping people like de-stress and at the same time have some fun. So that's how it came about.
I love that. So have you always loved like doing art, and do you create art yourself and like sell it or anything like that on the side?
So I'm always creating. Art is a journal for me. So I create what I see, what I'm experiencing, what I'm inspired by. I've been getting lots of requests to do art for other people, but it's based on the inspiration.
Okay.
Now my sister is the one who creates and sells. I prefer to work with people and helping them create it. So I've always loved art. I think art has always been a part of my life. It was just a way of telling a story.
Yeah.
Like I have sketchbooks for every year prior to college. And I can look at the picture and I can tell you what was going on, what phase I was in life, what problem I had going on, what was I enjoying. And so that's what art is to me. It's a journal of life. And so it's pretty fun.
Wow.
I enjoy it.
So do you just like draw like with, pencils, or like, is this painting? Do you do painting? Like what different type of art do you do?
Okay, good question. So I started off with sketching. My uncle taught me that. I think I was 10 or 9. Starting off sketching, and I was like, oh, I could actually create like what I'm seeing. Now, younger, I wasn't a painter until I got to high school. So my medium was just a pen, not even pencil. I couldn't even stand doing it with the pencil. I used a hard. So my medium was ink. And then I ended up learning, what was he doing? In high school, I started practicing on people's faces. Like I have all of my friends in my book, even people I was sitting right behind in my sketchbooks. And then paint came off once I left high school.
Right.
So my mediums now are sketching and painting. The doodle. the doodler. I was that doodler.
So like you're good at like facials, like actually drawing people, not just
Portrait.
yeah.
I can definitely. I can learn some more. I can improve on those skills.
Well, that's amazing. You've definitely been doing it for a while, so I know it's amazing.
Yeah.
So where are these activities usually held? Like if we want to come paint with you or come cook, where can we come to do these things with you?
Okay, so virtually is one that came because of the pandemic, for art. So I'll start with cooking. Cooking, typically I'm at a recreational center. I do in-person classes, private classes at homes. I've been at churches, schools, after-school programs, summer programs. I really love the international camps because I get to go and travel and teach cooking classes there. And I hope my goal is to get that started back next year. So anywhere that could be private and it has a kitchen. You want to know the weirdest place I've ever had to teach a class was on a track field.
Track field? How was this possible? What did you do, Miss Christine?
Oh my gosh. It was a camping cooking class.
Right.
And so they had solar powered equipment and I was like, yo, this is dope.
Wow.
It was so interesting. It was so much fun. So we did fire. So not a barbecue grill, but a smaller version of that. And they had solar powered appliances and stuff like that. It was fun. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, what
Love it.
places have you traveled so far to teach?
To teach, Arizona, DC, Anguilla in the Caribbean, Puerto Rico, and that's it so far. But next year, I'm going to add like good 3 more spots.
Can you just put me in your bag and take me with you?
Look, you're welcome. You're welcome. If you can fit in the carry-on.
Okay, I don't know.
If you can fit in the carry-on, then I can pull you out and you can sit in the extra seat. But yeah, you're welcome to definitely book a ticket and join me.
That is so fun. Oh my gosh. So I've seen that you work with children. Is there like an age group that you particularly work with, or like is there a cutoff or anything like that?
5 and up.
Okay.
5 and up. Yeah. Typically, if I do the 4-year-olds, the parents are in the home and their parents are really just doing the job for them. So 5 and up, they have the mental capacity to follow simple directions.
Yeah.
Especially with cooking, because we actually use real cooking supplies. So real knives, wow. Of course, kid-friendly knives. Right. So yeah, for cooking, it's actually for cooking 6 and up. 5, we'll do food projects. So we're not really going to be dicing up potatoes and stuff like that. They'll learn to use the knife because they're working on their motor skills still.
Right.
But we'll do like fruits and carrots and strawberries and stuff like that. And they'll help mix it, toss it. So 15 and up for art, you can create a 2.
Right.
And 1. But I prefer the 5-year-olds and up.
You have some good patience, Miss Christine. You have to have patience like to the sky.
Man, I think, funny question. Is we go to Encounter, right? And Pastor always asks questions just out of the blue. But to be honest, they not out of the blue. So he asked me one day, he was like, why don't you work with kids? Because I was working with adults. And I was like, I don't have the patience for them. They love me, but I don't have the patience. And so I left that conversation, and I was like, why don't I have patience for the kids? Because they always buy me. I always want to hug me. Why don't I have patience? They're like little bundles of joy. And so I left that conversation, and I believe that was in 2014 or 15.
Wow.
And now I work with kids. I work in middle school, elementary, summer camps. I deal with kids every day of the week.
That is awesome. So let's.
So I had to pray for that.
Hello. So let's talk about the food, okay? how did cooking come into the mix? I know you said you started with art. So how did you like decide, okay, I'm going to do this with the art?
Okay, so actually, cooking was the beginning. Cooking was the beginning. Art came out of my adult clients knowing that I did art. It was like, hey, can you work with my child and see what we can do? So I came up with the concept of them doing both during the pandemic. I've always wanted to do both because it's culinary arts.
Gotcha.
Right? So even when I was younger, I would tie in art with food because we're literally like, I'm the kooky one, well, I would say. And then you get in trouble for playing with your food because you're making faces in the plates. And when you're decorating the cake, the patterns that look like should be on a wall.
Yes.
That was me. So the pandemic was a great opportunity for me to tie it in because I came up with a summer camp that was off of food, but we tied in the art with it. And they loved it. Like, for instance, we would do, let's see, Star Wars. I'm a Star Wars fan. I'm not a fanatic, but I'm a fan. And so I know most of my students, when we talk about, hey, what movie you been watching lately? You hear of everything. So I was like, okay, cool. I got some of what they're interested in. And so we just started the menu. I have students that are ongoing, so they see me virtually every week. Okay. And so I was like, well, guys, for the month of June, we're going to do Star Wars. They went ballistic.
I bet.
So I'm an experimenter. You got to experiment with food. You get tired of it, to be honest. I love food, but I know we get tired of it. So I experiment so I can find something new to do with one ingredient or the other.
So let's get to the nitty gritty here. So I know you do like holistic, and you've actually, guys, so let me be honest here. I actually got diagnosed with PCOS. And this beautiful lady here on this screen has helped me already in the process. And so can you tell us about your, I ain't going to tell your story, but you tell us like your PCOS story and how that ties into food as well with what you do.
Sure, I will. So PCOS is this acronym for polycystic ovarian syndrome. It's a metabolic hormonal imbalance that occurs in women of the reproductive ages. And it causes a plethora of issues because there are different sources. You have some that are insulin resistant, so it's sensitive to sugar and insulin. You have cortisone, adrenal ones, and then you also have others that work with, that affect your mood. It's difficult to have children. Your cycles are off, but the main ones is the insulin, high insulin, and then also high testosterone. Yeah. So PCOS, the journey started in college. I was a swimmer in high school, so my cycle was never regular. And I just thought it was towards swimming because we were told, and we see it, that if you swim a lot, and we swam every day, your cycle was always off as an athlete. So that's what we thought. But got to college, we're not swimming every day. And still was irregular. So went to the doctor. They, did your first, what would you call it? First ultrasound or whatnot, and that's when they saw the cysts on my ovaries. And so the first thing they wanted to do was put me on birth control, and I was like, okay. Never went back on. I was on it for 2 weeks and went off because I've never had PMS until I got on birth control. And I was like, yo, if this is what my friends be going through, I don't need this. Like, you can have that. I was like, Doc, we don't. She was like, well, the only thing we can do to regulate it, but you can do your research. I was like, oh, bad. I'm a researcher. So my doctor, she was like, well, this is what you need to do, or you can do your research. So I started doing my research, a process of elimination, trial and error. because back then, this was like '06, '07, there was not many research and solutions for PCOS. Even in 2010, 11, when you go to the doctors, they weren't knowledgeable about the condition to help me heal rather than to just medicate.
Right.
So that I wanted to heal. I didn't want to stay on medicine because I already know it wasn't working and the symptoms were getting worse. So the first thing was food. First thing you research, cortisol levels, insulin levels, all tied to food and stress. So getting my food in order was a process. And you know that. Like everything the doctor told me was causing my issues to get worse. Work out more, which I was doing anyway. Work out more. Eat this, eat eggs, eat dairy, eat yogurt, all of that stuff. And all of that was causing my symptoms to get worse. So in doing my research, I realized, what works for other people may not work for this.
Yep.
So that's how it started. The realization, like, okay, someone's medicine is my poison. So I have to find a solution that's the opposite. So the journey has been fun and it's been fun because I've been able to adapt, find different ways to do certain things. And then at the same time, very frustrating because until now, the doctors weren't helpful.
Very
Other than do your own research.
Yeah. And guys, if you struggle with like losing weight and things like that, like, because that was one of my issues. And I was working out and I kept telling my doctor, because I got checked for this before and they said I didn't have it. I was working out and I'm like, this scale is not moving. Like, it will fluctuate like terribly. And I'm like, something's just not right. I finally went again, and then I went to actually another doctor, and they did tell me, yes, you do have it. So guys, if you're struggling with your weight, like, please, please, please go check and see if this is something that you might have. If you have bad periods, like I was getting major headaches, like, because just a lot of issues, guys. And I'm like, something is off, something is not right. So if you see that change in your body, please, please, please just go and ask and double check. It took me twice to make sure that, to see if I had it. And so this is a real thing, and it definitely, if you can get this food down, and I'm going to let Miss Christine tell us, what are some foods that we need to watch out eating when it comes to us having PCOS?
Okay, so first thing is you want to pay attention to your symptoms. Typically what you are craving, your body doesn't necessarily need that food. They need what would that food solve or fulfill as far as nutrients and minerals. So pay attention to your cravings. You're craving chocolate, your body needs magnesium. If you're craving something crunchy, you're dealing with your anxiety, feelings, and stuff like that. So the first thing is pay attention to your cravings and when they come about. So that means journaling. And let's see, what else you can do. What was the question again, specifically?
Tell us some foods that we need to watch out eating if we do have PCOS.
Okay. So back to the thing of my medicine is your poison. It's hard to tell people what not to eat because everyone has different things. So the first thing is pay attention to your cravings. That will tell you what your body needs as far as minerals. But then also you want to pay attention to what are your inflammation, what's causing inflammation. So what are you sensitive to? Typically, you want to eliminate certain foods and then bring them back in and see what your body does. All right. It's hard to be like, I think I'm lactose intolerant. Well, pull it out for a couple of days or a week, put it back in, see what your body will do. You will immediately see how your body will react. So mainly what I tell my clients is first start off with the most inflammatory foods, which is dairy. And it's because of the sugar that's in the dairy, the lactose. That's the sugar that's in milk. Because as a human beings, we're not supposed to be consuming milk like that unless it's fermented. Soy, because it's an estrogen dominant plant and it affects hormones drastically. And soy is in almost all of our food. It's a flavor enhancer. Yep. So not soy. Soy is actually a good plant, but you have to do fermented soy, not just regular soy. What else? So pay attention to the things that you're allergic to. If you know that you get itchy after eating chicken, which is, not normal for a lot of people, but it's very normal for some people. If you get bloated after eating certain meals, if you notice that your skin, you get eczema outbreaks and stuff like that, start eliminating the major allergies, which is wheat, dairy, and then adding them in and seeing what your body does. Okay. So, but a lot of time is eliminate the processed foods, yes, which ties into the cooking because no one has time to cook a good meal every day. So that's the challenge right there. So processed foods, processed foods, how it affects your body is we're putting a lot of stuff that aren't naturally in food. So our body is already overloaded with the imbalances, and now it has to deal with trying to get rid of the toxins, which is how it shows up in our emotions and on our physical skin. So it's a good start. Come up with your allergy list. Pay attention to your body symptoms. And I know some people are like, I've been nauseous for the last couple of days. What have I been eating? That's the kind of questions you want to have. Don't just ignore it.
Yes, don't ignore it. Please don't. So what was your journey like with regaining a stable hormone level?
It's up and down. So prior to the pandemic, it was actually pretty good. And the stress of everything. So my journey is, like I told you with the doctors, I always ask questions, I always get a second opinion, a third opinion. I have primary physicians and then I have holistic doctors. I have support. I'm a health coach, but I also have a health coach. So that was in place. Get a team in place to help you go through different things. Taking it step by step. My process was learning to detox, take the time to forgive myself for certain things, and take each system one by one. And not just look to lose weight. Actually, that's out the door. I don't even think about it no more. Like, my goal is not to lose weight. My goal is to regulate my hormones so that my body can do what it's naturally supposed to do. All right. And then also just working on the de-stressing part. That's been a part of mine. But it's been experimenting. I mean, again, creating a team of people around you. So where you have questions and you also see testimonies of people. Like with health coaching, I have a cohort of health coaches and we've gone through similar things. And I'm like, hey, what's been working, guys? Like, and support group. Utilize your social media. But also read books, okay? Scientifically proven books, Western books, Eastern books, like combined, and read. A lot of us don't know stuff because we don't read. And the information is there. And so that's been part of my journey, educating myself first, trial and error, and being consistent.
Yes.
That's the hardest part.
It's so hard. So
it's the hardest part.
It is. For sure. So what's the best way to achieve and maintain good insulin levels or, the benefit of full health? That's my problem. Okay. How can I regulate my good insulin levels?
Okay, so insulin levels it depends. So if you have most people with PCOS, if they have insulin issues, it's insulin resistance. So it's what they call diabetes type 3. It's not that their body isn't producing insulin. It's not that their body isn't doing the job. So the insulin, when you eat food, sugar knocking on the door and your body's not getting what it needs. So you have too much insulin in your blood system. So the first thing is to pay attention to what the diabetic recommendations are, with as far as the sugar intake for certain foods and fruits and stuff like that. Fruits are your friends. They aren't your enemies. You just have to eat them in moderation. Also, you can lower the carbs. Now, don't eat low carbs. Lower your carbs. Change up your regular potato for sweet potato and do a mixture. Just don't eliminate. Like, start going to the market and trying vegetables.
Yeah.
Green leafy vegetables. Find different ways to cook them till you find something that you like. I've also find that not just focusing on the food is a major part, but insulin resistance is also driven by stress because we eat. We are stress eaters. A lot of people, not everyone, but I'm a stress eater. Mm-hmm. I'll go grab I'm a stress fruitaholic, if that makes sense, in my pastime. So I'll pick out on some fruits. So working on your stress is because you're releasing stuff that you pick up every day, the baggage, mentally decompressing, that affects us. Spiritually, it affects us as well. So what has worked is also good supplements.
And please,
you want to get some good supplements.
What are some good supplements?
Off the top of my head, Instatol, zinc, magnesium, things we're not getting out of our food because we're not eating the food, like rooted food and green. Also, your electrolytes, your omega-3s, these fight your inflammation. What other supplements? Quality vitamins, okay? Vitawoman, is it one vitamin? Vitamin 1? Okay, what's that main one? Start off with some quality vitamins. They don't cost $20. No. Just for warning. No, they're in that. Ooh, Lord.
Oh yes, they are.
Quality vitamins, guys, will save you from a hospital bill. Okay, so just invest into quality vitamins, supplements. Chlorophyll, which is greens. You want to incorporate complex vegetables. So that means colorful vegetables. Color. Eat the rainbow, if that makes sense. White is included in the rainbow too, but you don't want it to be predominantly on your plate. Right. Quality meat. So you want to stay away from the meat that typically is infused with steroids. So watch your chicken. I'm not telling you not to eat chicken. You just want to make sure you're getting chicken where it tells you it's been free, especially the eggs. What else? Quickly. I prefer grass-fed beef because my body literally reacts to regular beef. I stay away from turkey because it's processed. I used to love some turkey bacon. I used to love some turkey bacon.
I haven't let go of my turkey bacon, Miss Christine, but you told me I can have. You said I can still.
You can have some. You can have some stuff in moderation, and the more that you supplement your body and provide the nutrients and the minerals, you're gonna lose the taste for certain things. Yeah, I've had random thoughts where it's like, "Oh, you're not gonna miss this." What do you mean? I'm not gonna. What? So there's a technique called crowding out. This is where you eat the healthy foods and you eventually lose the taste for the not so good foods, or your taste for it decreases. Right. So you'll eat it when you want to, not when your body is like, "Oh, we're addicted to it. Let's get it." So that's been a good start so far. But insulin resistance is trial and error, but the main things is pay attention to your sleep, because you got to de-stress. Your body has to rejuvenate itself. So sleeping, and that starts with 1 to 2 hours before you even go to sleep. So get off the phones and the computers. I know we read a book, journal, pray, study. Okay. That would help you 1 or 2 hours before you go to sleep, because you need the rest. Your body needs to recoup. Also, you can work on movement, all right? Not like what I used to do when I was in college, which was 6 to 7 days of workout. Don't ever do that. Okay, movement, because we're sedentary in our modern day, well, much more than normal than our ancestors. We want to include movement, and that's weight training. You actually burn more sugar when you weight train.
Yeah.
Low impact exercises. So don't use a little bit of cardio, but not too much. Because the cardio, if you are just doing cardio throughout the week, you will spike your cortisone levels, which will then spike your insulin levels, which will then tell your body to hold on to every drop of extra fat you possibly are consuming. Which makes it harder to lose fat, because your body is like, no, we're keeping this, and you can have a good day. So movement, make sure you rest, de-stress, find a self-care routine where movement and sleep and rest is incorporated. Also supplement, make sure you're eating complex meals. Color. I can't project that even more. Eat colorful food that aren't falsely dyed with food coloring.
Right.
That's a good start.
A great start. It has helped me tremendously. Is there any other pointers that you want to give us before the closing question?
About PCOS or just...
Yeah, anything that we've talked about. PCOS, food.
I'm learning that you just got to take the time and like sit down and assess life. Assess, why am I feeling anxious? Why am I always hungry for corn chips, salty corn chips? And just take the time to relax, get your mind, and start addressing different areas of your body. When we just focus on physical, that means we're just lacking, you're ignoring your mental and spiritual health. So your health is well-rounded. It's holistic. Okay, you are a spiritual person. You have a spirit in you. You are mentally, emotionally a woman or a man, and you have to deal with the things that come with that, and also physical. So you have to tie in all three. You can't just focus on food and then be distracted with all the foolishness that you are distracted with. Because that is just wasting your time. Yep. Because if you just focus on food and you haven't addressed your cleaning habits, your daily routine, you just waking up and going with the flow, your food routine is not going to last. You know what I'm saying? So it's getting order. Basically, it sits you down to get order in your life, and you need to do that. Take the time to address it. And it's system by system. Yeah. As far as the body, it's area by area. As far as mental health, you know, the root causes, of course, the daily stress that you might incur, that you aren't able to deal with, your emotions that come up with your friends or people that you're dating or your spouses. Like, those people are there to socially help put you in check. So you just have to not be so offended sometimes, but take the time to assess that. So I said self-assessment is a great start to dealing with your health, but also think about well-rounded health. So that's only surprise.
Oh, that was so beautiful, Miss Christine. Last question. We're out of here. How would you like to continue being a light in this dark world?
Oh, wow, good question. What I'm learning this year, I've been learning it, but it's been on my mind lately. It's just stay connected to the Creator. I tell my students all the time, I am a co-creator. Life just don't happen to me. I am a co-creator with my Creator. And so, and they look at me like, what? I said, so now they get it, because they get my antics. But staying close to the Creator, I think, like, I have gifts and talents and solutions, and they're attached to the person that created me, or the being that created me. And I feel like I flourish a lot more when I am in tune with the direction that God wants for my life. All right. Yeah. So I have goals and dreams and ambitions. But I realized through journaling that a lot of that stuff ain't me. I mean, it's me. I was created for this, but sometimes it's not the right timing or the right place.
Yeah.
So staying connected, being a co-creator, and connecting with other people too. That's what I've been focusing on lately. So I hope for the next couple of years is building a team of people around me.
Yeah.
Support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Miss Christine, you guys, first of all, I gotta give a come on, because Miss Christine, one, she did not want to come on the show. This is her first live, and I'm so thankful that you chose me to do your first live with. And you were so
I know.
informative. Like, this was so good. And guys, when she helped me, I was like, oh no, other people need this, as well, because it was just so informative. She broke down foods to me. She gave me vitamins that I needed to buy, even though they are high, but they work, but and I can't wait to get home, because she's actually going to come and teach me how to cook, and cook the foods that my body needs. So I cannot wait. I cannot wait to start that journey with you, Miss Christine. And I wanted everybody to hear your testimony and like what you've been through and how you've changed and how you've grown. And you're still amazing even through all the things that you've been through with your body, and like, you not liking kids, and now you working with kids, and just like your journey. And I'm just so proud of you, and I'm just so thankful that you chose me to talk to tonight. So please tell us where we can come if we want cooking classes, if we want you to work with us one-on-one, where we can come to go paint. Give them all of your information.
Okay. So right now the main contact is email address. So it's cookingcanvascreations@gmail.com. You can contact me through the link as well at Cooking and Canvas Creations. So those are the two main forms of contact. But my email is usually where I get a lot. Paint parties, summer camps. We have summer camps this 5 weeks of summer camps. I'm excited. So once summer camp season is out, then that's when I'll start working with my adults. But definitely email again, cookingcanvascreations@gmail.com, and then on Instagram you can hit the link at Cooking and Canvas Creations. So thank you for having me here. Like you look, I've been behind the scenes. I've been taking a couple months to just be behind the scenes and focus. I cook every day, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I cook with groups of 12 to 24 students 3 times a day. And so I took a break from social media just because I had to focus on these babies and kind of come up with a curriculum that works.
Yeah.
And it works, because even when they're not in my class, they want to come in. Like, sir, you can go to your next class.
I can tell by they love you. You just have a beautiful spirit, Miss Christine. It's so beautiful. And please don't ever change for anyone. And I love you to death. And I just want to say thank you again. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Of course. And I can't wait to work with you one-on-one soon. So
I look forward to it.
So guys, please go follow her right now. Book your Canva, your painting lessons.
So you can book your paint party, or you can book a cooking class.
Do it all. Okay, she's amazing. Guys, go follow her. And guys, I'll be back in 2 weeks. Thank you all. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.